and successful architect who is the subject of the biography Legacy of the White Eagle, World War II Polish freedom fighter Julian Kulski.
My dear friends, fellow Americans, this is a great day, the greatest day of my life. First of all, I want to congratulate all of you and thank all of you for joining hands today in declaring your love, your patriotism, and your loyalty to the United States of America. All of us owe our way of life, our cherished freedoms, and our independence to the visionaries who understood that there can be no human progress under tyranny. Our founding fathers knew that democratic ideals will never be realized unless men are willing to lay down their lives. They believed that no sacrifice is too great and no price too high for the defense of freedom and independence. We are all envied by millions of disenfranchised, disinherited, disheartened multitudes throughout this world of ours. The Iranians live under the oppressive yoke of the tyrannical mullahs. The North Koreans, the Burmese, and the Sudanese live in daily fear of the military oppressors. Young Afghan boys and girls live in fear that any moment their schools will be blown up by the Taliban. Yes, we certainly have a lot to be grateful and thankful for in this great land of ours. If you have not lived under tyranny, you cannot fully grasp how lucky you are to live in the USA and how important it is to continue fighting for our cherished way of life. I wrote a book called Legacy of the White Eagle. Legacy of the White Eagle. It is my story of growing up as a teenager in the midst of the brutal occupation of Warsaw, Poland, during the long 5 years of the Second World War. It is also the story of what people like you can do for freedom and independence when your country needs you. I was 10 when the Germans invaded Poland and began the era of unimaginable terror. When I was 12, the Nazis closed our schools and I was sworn into the underground army. When I was 14, I was arrested and tortured by the Gestapo. At 15, I fought in the 1944 Warsaw Uprising, which saw the most vicious street fighting in World War II, even worse than the Battle of Stalingrad. If you can imagine, 180,000 civilians died in 2 months, the equivalent of a World Trade Center attack every day for 60 days. Eventually, we were forced to capitulate, and I, sick tuberculosis, was transported in a cattle prisoner of war camp in Germany, from which I escaped 9 months later. You would be justified in asking, why did kids like me fight so hard during the war? War is a horrible thing, and life the most precious of gifts. Why then did we kids resist and fight? Many to death. It is because of our shared legacy of freedom. Washington, I urge you to visit Arlington Cemetery. While walking among those headstones, try counting them. And remember these young men and women who laid down their lives for you. Please remember the great legacy of America. Please remember that we all have the awesome responsibility to keep the flame of liberty